Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to add methods after inheritance. A constructor function that inherits its prototype object from a supertype constructor function can still have its own methods in addition to inherited methods. For example, bird is a constructor that inherits its prototype from animal. So here we create an animal constructor, and then we say that we add to the animal constructor a function called eat, where it does nom nom nom, a function of bird, a constructor of bird, and then we set the bird prototype to be a subtype of the animal prototype, and then we say the bird prototype dot constructor is equal to bird. So we set it up so that the constructor is a bird, but it still inherits the elements of animal. So here, if we were to create a new bird and we went bird.eat, then we would expect that we would still get this function to play out. In addition to what is inherited from animal, you want to add behavior that is unique to the bird objects. Here, bird will get a fly function. Functions are added to bird's prototype the same way that the same way as any constructor function. So here, bird.prototype.fly is equal to a function of console log I'm flying. So now, instance of bird will have both eat and fly methods. So here we create a new duck, and the duck can eat and fly. Again, a function from the animal prototype, and then a function from its bird prototype. All are necessary codes so the dog object inherits from animal, and the dog's add all necessary codes so the dog object inherits from animal, and the dog's prototype constructor is set to dog. Then add a bark method to the dog object so the beagle can both eat and bark. The bark method should print woof to the console. So right now the beagle.eat is not a function, and beagle.bark wouldn't be a function either. If this were above it, it would just say beagle.bark is not a function. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is set dog to be a subtype, or set animal to be a supertype of dog. And to do that, we go dog. This is the same thing we did in the last exercise, prototype. So they say the dog is a prototype of the object of a created animal dot prototype. The next thing that we're going to want to do, why is this all the way over there? That should be here. So right now, if we were to console.log beagle is instance of animal, we want this to be true. Let's comment these out for now so that we can see what we're working with. Create. I had missed an E there. It's an instance of animal. Okay, cool. So before we did this code, beagle was not, the dog was not a subclass of animal. So now that we've set it to be a subclass of animal, this is true. So the next thing that we want to do is say the constructor. Right now, if we were to get rid of this, the beagle.constructor, that's animal, but we don't want it to be animal. We want it to be bird, or dog. So we are going to say dog.prototype .constructor, and we're going to set this equal to dog. So now, instead of animal, it becomes dog. And then, let's see, what else do we need to do? Constructor. Add all necessary, dog inherits from animal, check. Dog's prototype constructor is set to dog, we've got that. And then we want to add a bark method. So in order to add a bark method onto the dog.prototype we want to say bark. That's equal to a function. And inside the function, we want to console.log the string woof with an exclamation point, because we want it to match this guy. But we also want to have console log nom nom nom. And now the constructor, we've set it to dog. We can get rid of this now. Let's see if beagle.eat works now. So beagle, right now, even though it's just created as a new dog, it's inheriting the nom 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 console log from the animal prototype. But now, because we've got a special dog function on the prototype, which is bark, and this should say woof here. So this tells me that we're working correctly. So now all the code that almost all animals share, all animals eat, is going to be set in the animal prototype. But the things that are unique to dogs are held in the dog prototype. And this is a good way to organize code. Anyways, if we run the tests, I think they'll pass. And this is really, really useful stuff. So I would encourage you to go over this again and make sure that you can write it through memory. Like, I would honestly just actually memorize, just go through this and do it over and over again until you know how to set that. Because this is a useful concept in JavaScript, and it's used in all sorts of things, especially once you get to higher levels. Things like React and Redux use this sort of object inheritance a lot. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next lesson.